cool thing I've been working on today. Today I started working on my Joppa 4.0. 3.0, 4.0. I'm not 100% sure which one it is, but for the most part, though, I had a lot of early morning this morning. I got a chance to work on a lot of things. So I actually was able to reconstruct a Joppa, and so I have a Joppa here. Because what happened, the customer that I started, that I worked with, they pretty much they bought one of my sculptures from Etsy. Well, it came along and said, they would like another one. So, pretty much what I can do in the spirit of the whole making creatures and stuff, I can actually make another Joppa. So here's a Joppa 4.0. He's actually bigger than the original Joppa, and so pretty much I'm in the process of waiting for his seal to dry, right? Because whenever I do my tape, I always do where the seal dries, and so there's a little bit of seal there. So what I'm going to show you the original Joppa. The original Joppa is much smaller than the new and improved Joppa. He's almost like Jaro in terms of height and size. But I have my octopus here. I also put Mod Project on the octopus when I was working on last week, remember? So yes, last week with Thursday I was working on another octopus, and I ran to my many errands, and also I just started to get his the ammonite shell, of the octopus completed there. So I'm going to back the camera just a little bit, and then move this a little bit forward so you guys can see a bit better. So I just want to say thank you so much for joining me tonight. Those of you who joined, I want to just say thank you for all the looks and being able to see the art. It's been really cool. So what I'm going to show you the this. I'm going to probably do some paint on this one as well, because the ammonites. I'm going to follow the same color of ammonites for the Joppa. So you can see that. I know this is kind of earlier than I normally do, so I'm not going to be on for long. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to start painting him, and see if I can do the painting much better, much quicker than if I just went through the whole procedure of just everything. So I don't say just go ahead and watch, and pretty much thank you so much for watching. I've been listening to a lot of different videos and stuff all week and the last couple of days, because what happened was like I had Christmas and I had today off, so I was able to just kind of be able to just work on some of my art and get that ready. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and start painting this guy right here. And whenever I paint them, I always start with the belly. So I'm going to show you the original Joppa. You're able to see him. Original Joppa. He is like a really cool character. Like he's like my goldfish monster. And this one here, this one is the same version, but now he's going to be better. What we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and paint him. So I'm going to put him here so you can see. And here, we're going to go ahead and start the painting. So the painting that we're going to be using, the painting colors we're going to be using is this one here called cadmium yellow. It's cadmium yellow. And also this orange, this metallic orange. These are two colors that run Joppa. You see that? There it goes. So we're going to start that. So this here is my trusty dusty board. This is the board I had before. It's my palette board, right? And the board of it's kind of like palette paper, which I absolutely love. So this is going to be, for those who just joined, this is a Joppa number 4, or 4.0, and this is much bigger Joppa than the original Joppa here. So it's a bigger, so this is the original one, and then this is now improved, because what happens, the customer requested another one, so it's in the process of finishing that. And what happens is that this is pretty cool creature. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and paint it for you. Also, I was showing you the really cool. Thanks for liking it. Appreciate that. This is the I was working on this before, and I put some seal on it as well. So here's the octopus that becomes ammonite, and you have that right there. And so yes, anyway, so what we're going to do, I'm just go ahead and start the painting on this one here. So we're going to do this, right? So let's go ahead and talk while I do this. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a really cool week. I have got a chance to go to an art studio, right? I went to an art studio looking forward to doing a new art program. I can't tell you much about it because sometimes you say don't tell everybody what you're going to do, because when you do that, hello, Nuggethead. What happens is that when you're going to do something, it's not good to tell everybody what exactly you're going to do until you already did it. The reason is because sometimes you lose the momentum. So what I'm going to do is just kind of tell you a little bit about it. Because what happens is, like, when I was that I met the artists and everything, and what we're going to do, a little bit about it, is it's pretty much, I'm in the process of trying to put together a studio, right? Because, hi, how are you? Good to see you, Aziz Ochiled. Okay, cool, good to meet you. And so this one here, so what happens is that I was really excited to be able to meet this gentleman. And he was the same person who did the celebrity deathmatch. There's a gentleman who did celebrity deathmatch. The claymation for that. And so it was really cool. I got a chance to meet him. I met him like last year, or actually a couple years ago, when we were doing the night markets and stuff. So what ended up happening was that he invited me to a studio. And so what without giving you too much details about everything, he invited me to like a studio to see clay and clay art. Because see, my art is with masking tape, and his art is with clay. And so because of that, what happens? You're into a situation where you have clay people, and the whole work that goes behind clay. So for example, masking tape is an art in of itself. And I learned this again. I told you guys before many times, but I'll tell you again, just in case you never heard it before. There was a gentleman by the name of hey, how are you? I'm doing good. There's a gentleman by the name of Marcus Makes, and he was making dinosaurs and stuff. So what happened? I saw him make a dinosaur, and I thought that was really cool. But he used dinosaurs, used masking tape as the armature instead of wire. He used that, and then so incidentally, what ended up happening was that he showed me something that I was not familiar with. He was making a Spinosaurus on his channel, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is awesome. So every time I talk about this, I always give a shout out to him. And you should definitely follow his channel. His name is Marcos Makes Dinosaurs. Marcos Makes, and he makes the cool dinosaurs. Anyway, so he does that. I always give a shout out to him. And pretty much, for a while I was with him on Patreon and stuff too. But anyway, how life works is pretty much he's a cool guy, and you should definitely follow his work. But back to what I was saying before, I met a guy, and what happened? His situation was that he does clay. He does some really cool clay stuff, and the clay stuff that he's doing. Yes, I made this myself. This is one of the things that I work on. So what happens that I'm working on? This is a Joppa. This is the original Joppa, and this is my chupacabras. Why do I do this? I do this because I like sharing information. Here's a situation here. This is the Joppa, and then this is the for a customer. Customer requested one of these, and they paid me for it. So I have this. So I'm actually just finishing up the cool colors of it. So when you look at it, standing up and stuff like that, it's a really cool creature. What I'm gonna do, let it dry for a little bit, because you always start with the belly first. I'm gonna show you a really cool one. Let me show you another one. I'm going to use the yellow paint in a second, but I'm going to show you some of the other ones that I've made. All right, these ones are the other fish monsters. So this one here is Jaro. This is Jaro, and he's a fish monster. He's pretty cool. It's like a hatchet fish. There's Jaro, and he's a chupacabra fish monster. This one. The next one I have here is Jimba. And Jimba, she's like a triggerfish. So she has the cool triggerfish effects to her. And so she's pretty cool. She's like that. She has a really cool triggerfish effects. She also glows in the dark. And her tail is cool beans. So I just kind of put it a little further here, as you can see. Right there. I'm going to put it down. And this one here is Sambo. Sambo is like right here. He's like a lionfish. Lionfish, anglerfish kind of thing. So you have that. This is Sambo. And he's just like really scary looking, purpley looking fish and stuff. So yeah, and so this is pretty much, I'm gonna just raise up a little bit so you can see some more. I've been working on some other art, right? Some of my other art, and so this one's one of my favorites because like he's just so colorful. I love the colors he has when he like that. He's just totally like a cool looking triggerfish, but he's also like he's the hands and stuff. Just so he's Sambo Chupacabra. This is cool. Here's that. This is my fish monster. So what happens is that I make these, right? And so I make a lot of different ones. I have it on my my Patreon. I have my Patreon as well as on my my Etsy account. But Etsy, what happens? I find that when you have like cool stuff like this on Etsy, nobody believes what it is. I don't know. I'm not famous. I guess if all my friends were to share what I do and like my stuff and follow me, that would help me out a lot. So a lot of people have been, and I don't know why I'm not famous, because it's just a matter of time. Who knows? But this is like my fish monsters, and so I'm able to do that. Jimba, close to Jimba. She's this lady fish, Jimba. How am I not famous? I don't know. Again, people become famous for all kind of reasons, and so usually for scandalous reasons. But I don't know. God make me famous when he's ready. So that's one. I'm going to show you the one that I've been walking around with. Like I have the videos. This is a video I made with here you have a Gizmo. Gizmo, he's just like, I got Gizmo's eyes. So while that paint is drying, then I'm going to take some of this other paint. I'm going to go ahead and paint some of the this is Gizmo here. And then one of my coworkers gave me the sock. So I was like, okay, no, the sock is cool. So I'm going to put a sock around Gizmo's neck right here. And then I put like a sock around his belly. And then I went walking around like at the store with him. And so it just kind of changed his eyes up a little bit, which is really cool. Yeah, my kids had this like a ping pong ball thing. And so they gave it to me. And I was able to take the ping pong balls and make his eyes like kind of move and reposition and stuff, and it's really cool. I like that. So I sealed it up so it doesn't like get damaged. And so here it is. You're like, ah! And he's like really cool. It's like, ah! What are you looking at? Right, kind of scared. Anyway, so for the most part though, that's that. I also make like other creatures too. And I'll show you all my arsenal, but here's like I make like monitor lizards and stuff like and monitor lizards and things because you know you can pretty much make anything in masking tape. So I just love the fact that this is such a cool multifaceted type skill thing that I can do. I also make people. So I'll show you a person that I made that I'm processing to finishing. So here's like a person. This is like, you know, it's a sculpture of a lady. Pretty much is a person I'm working on right now. And so pretty much she's like almost completed. I have to just pretty much give her the seal and then give her her clothes and her hair and her eyes and stuff like that. And this will complete the task there. So I'll be able to finish this. So this is the one that I'm making. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. So yeah, I'm able to make all these different things, and it's one of those things where I just enjoy making art. So what happens is usually people ask me to make ideas for them. So I'll show you one of the predators and stuff. I have a predator, but you know, sometimes it's just too many things. But here's one. This is the one I have. It's called my deli, and he's delivery. He has a food delivery and stuff like that. Road warrior, stack order. He's got like get that bread, you know. And he has like a little thing with the juices and stuff like that, like, you know, carrying the soda bottles. And this right here, she's like, haha. So he's like that. She's like, get that bread, get that bread. Yes, this is a lot of masking tape, my friends. All the masking tape. The eyes are not masking tape, of course, but you know, pretty much I have stuff that can be made into masking tape stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I show you the predator, but I'll show you venom. I'll show you venom. Venom. So here's that. Me a Venom. So here's Venom. He's like, Venom. So there's Venom right there. And so pretty much just the head of Venom. Because you know what happens is like, I made it before. And so I made a lot of Venoms and they keep getting like, what's that word? Purchased. So every time I make a Venom, I lose another Venom. So it's like, oh, I get lost. It's like, I just love this art. It's very cool. I like it. Yeah, pretty much. So that's pretty much, this is, you know, Venom here. Okay, so while let's do that, let me go ahead and start painting some of the ammonite. The ammonite, because it's like I have a ton of gremlins behind me, and that's, you know, I'm not gonna show you guys a ton of gremlins because, you know, that's for, you know, special days. But for the most part, though, here is, oh goodness, I just touched my finger. Okay, so here's that, right? So this part here, I don't like wasting paint, and this is the palette paper, which is really good because that'll help me out tremendously. Right, so this is the paper, and they're trying to mimic the same thing, but I'm gonna use the edges to do for the ammonite. So I'm gonna make the ammonite. Right, the ammonite. I'm gonna paint the ammonite shell. Short movie story with those. Oh, I do make stories actually. If you look at my Instagram, I do a lot of stories. So my Instagram, look at my Instagram page. You know, and I go ahead, if you look at my Instagram page, I have it on Instagram. One Life Must Art. And what I do is that I'm actually able to I tell a story with different creatures. You know, I do that, and so I've been doing that for a couple of years now. And what's cool about it is that I just love it. I love the whole aspect of everything, just being able to do this. So yeah, you can look at my Instagram, but you know, once you're done watching this video, it's Instagram is One Life Must Art. That's my Instagram page. It's One Life Must Art. So one ONE, one LIFE MUST ART. One Life Must Art. So if you go there, you'll see all my cool stuff. And that's stuff I do. And one time I did a dinosaur candidate story. And the dinosaur candidate story is about the dinosaurs who were going to rule High Chair. And what they end up happening. I talked about this last week, but what happens is that they actually had a scenario where they weren't able to... it's just a pretty cool story. You have Facebook? Yeah, my Facebook page, I don't really use my Facebook for my art so much. I mean, the same thing, my Facebook is One Life Must Art as well. That's my, it follows everything I post to my Instagram goes to my Facebook page on the One Life Must Art Facebook, you know? That way I kind of keep it separate and everything. My Facebook page is where I go to fight and argue with people. So that's pretty much my argument from all the high school people I went to high school with, you know? That's how it is pretty much. So I don't necessarily, you know, go to my Facebook for much. So yeah, I use my Instagram, which is really connected to Facebook, you know? And so what happens is that I just kind of, you know, I use that for combat. So, because it's like all people from high school I grew up with, I just, you know, I kept in contact with them, family, friends, things like that. And but I have several Facebook groups. So I have like many. I have a Facebook that does one for what is it? Even flat Earth. I talk about flat Earth and stuff, you know. But also the ones I have about like my art. Some G Valentine animations is one I do about art too. But the primary one is One Life Must Art. If you look for there. Same One Life Most Art on Instagram. Same One Life Most Art on Patreon. Same One Life Most Art on my uh, my Facebook page. Same One Life Most Art on Instagram. Sorry, I said it already. And then when you go to my YouTube channel, which is here, near my YouTube channel, you're able to see my stuff with G Valentine, Gregory Valentine animations. So that's my stuff there. So I'm trying not to waste the paint and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to make sure that it's, don't use the paints too much. I'm going to go ahead and detail this with other paint when it comes time, because I like ammonites. Ammonites are one of my favorite creatures in terms of that are extinct today, other than dinosaurs. And so I have to kind of show you something cool. I have a spray bottle at work, right? And so what happens is that I take my spray bottle and I designed it because what happened was, I'm an artist, and so artists must art. So that's why One Life Must Art. So what happens is that when I was there at work, I had this thing happen with my spray bottle. So a spray bottle, you have a cap, right? Let's see if I have the cap here on the table. If it's on the table, it'll be a little easier for me to show you. If it's not here, I'll have to show you. So for example, the spray bottles that a person has, right? You have these things right on the spray bottle at the top, right? Just look at the top of a spray bottle. So at my job, I have this thing here where I work as a janitor at the airport, on my other job. So pretty much when I use the spray bottle, there was a part of it that broke. It was off the Windex, right? So it broke off. So what I did was that I took the top off of it and I brought it home. And so what I did was, here's penguin real quick. Okay, here, it might be here. No, that's an eyeball. Okay, but what happens is that, okay, I don't have it here. I don't know where it is, but I have the one that I finished. I'll show you the one that I finished. So I put the spray bottle back there because it's a spray for our plants. But the one that I finished was this one. Let me show you. The one that I finished was this. See, my coworkers gave me a cool dinosaur, right? And so I made a little guy for my spray bottle, like a little guy, and out of the blue tape, this is like blue tape, right? And I made a little person to ride in the canopy of it, right? So what happened was that this is me finishing. I took some paint, and this is the top of my spray bottle, and then I put the guy inside there. So he's like inside, inside the spray bottle, like a little nose cone from a spaceship. This is my spray bottle. And then what happens is when I seal it up, it's going to be all sealed and good. I'm going to do some more details to it, right, to make it all cool. So my spray bottle, when I spray it, it's like. So I have videos of that, and I haven't posted that, but I'm going to use the dinosaur instead of the little guy here. And what happens is that the little guy here, I'm going to put a dinosaur in there. And then I also have this thing here, which is like this. My kids gave me this. It's like a little glow in the dark ring, or like a ring that when you hit it, it glows. So when I was at work, I had this here. And I kept it carefully concealed, but for the most part, though, it's like, carefully concealed, and I have it inside there. So you have that in there part here, and then when you have the thing, it looks like it lights up the canopy, and you have the spray gun part of it, and the spray gun part of it is just like, you have the spray, for example, the spray gun part is like this, it rests upon that, and so I have it like this, and it goes. So that's pretty much the aspect of it, which is kind of cool. You think about it, but it's like, so it's a spray bottle with the plastic, right? And so here's the plastic underneath. I show you the plastic. I put a little, I Dremel this with my Dremel, and I made a little window. So you have a little plastic window, so you can see right through it. See that? So you have that Dremel right there. So you have the Dremel, and this is a plastic thing. Why? Because I have to seal this up with a protective. Yeah, it's like almost like a Star Wars type thing. Yeah, it's almost like a Star Wars type thing. Exactly. It's kind of like you're making a rocket booster type thing. It's like the nose of a space shuttle kind of thing, right? And you have like windows, and it's like a fighter jet thing. So you have the little lizard or whatever creature that's going to be in there. So in the case before, I had made the man. I made the man, put a little man in there. So he's inside there, and there is there. So when I have this light goes off, right? This light. Okay, this light doesn't want to go off now. I have another one here. This one here. This one goes off, right? You put that jammy right in that sucker right there, and there you have it. This is like when the things are happening, like the dashboard lights are giving off effects. So you want to have it. This is just a little too much, So you have it like that. So you have it like that. So when he's flying, it's like and it shuts off. And I'm using the spray bottle because what happens on the spray bottle? I made like engines. I don't know. It's one of those things, man. I know. It's little things here and there that I do. But for the most part, this is kind of like just a little fun thing. So yeah, so this still like, so my kids get this little ring thing, and you do that, and it glows when you agitate it, which is pretty cool. So yeah, so that. I know one of the things too about my art, most of my stuff glows in the dark. So I'm always kind of showing stuff about that, how the art glows. And so this is the little pilot that's going to be inside there, right? So you have that pilot inside there. This is the former pilot, so I'm gonna probably give him his the outfit, probably give him some weapons, probably even give him like a chair. Who knows? because I have this really cool paint. It's foam paint, right? And this foam clay. This foam clay is called air dry clay. I got this from Hobby Lobby, right? It was only $2.49. And this here has been really cool. So I've used this a couple of times. I'll show you one of the creatures I use it for. But this is air dry clay. And air dry clay, foam clay is pretty nice. Let me put this down for a second. So what happens is here's one of my printers. This one here, I have a full size one of this. I have a full size one. This is using air dry clay and some seals. Yeah, sitting outside with the turret, maybe. Huh? Yeah. Like, but he's inside. So the gun itself is like a turret. So the spray bottle becomes a turret. This here is a hammerhead salamander. I never named him yet. I just don't know what name. Maybe Gila monster or something like that. Maybe Gila. I don't want to call him Gila. So it happens like he has the colors of the black salamander. So this is a Diplocalus hammerhead. Hammerhead salamander. Just like Deli. So here's Deli. Right, so hey, how you doing? I'm doing pretty good. So what happened to this one here, and I put little things on his feet so he could stand up, because sometimes when I try to put him up, he wouldn't stand so properly. But he's completely made of, actually no, completely. Inside he has masking tape, so he's kind of like an example of what Marco Makes was doing, where he had actually an internal structure of masking tape. I made this on the trip back from Albany. My daughter and I. My daughter and I were coming back from Albany because we had to deal with a car. We had a car accident this year. And we had to get the car squished. So on the bus trip back, I quietly made this creature, but he was only just masking tape. And then so I said, let me just give it a try with the air dry clay and see what it's like. So this is my second air dry clay creature, and then this is my third air dry type thing, which I covered it in the foam, and then so you have the plastic from the thing, plastic from the cap. Right here's the cap from it's like a Lysol spray, right? And so it happens like the Lysol spray, now you have just kind of did a little bit of things to it. I'm going to add some more stuff to make it even cooler looking, because it's kind of like beat up a little bit. So I did like a Dremeled with my Dremel. So I have a Dremel cutting device. This is my stylo, right? So this is like I was doing this last night, early this morning. I'll show you some of my cool equipment. This here's my Dremel stylo, right? And so this is my Dremel stylo, and I was using the cut blade to kind of cut the designs onto the edge of it. So you all the little markings and stuff. So you had the little markings. I was using this part here to do that. So it's not plugged in right now, but this is like, this one is from my Ryobi. It's like a fiberglass cutting tip. Pretty cool. And then I had to wear the mask and stuff. That's why I'm like, if you look at me now, I'm wearing a mask because I have this mask thing. I was using that to, kind of work on this stuff. So I had to just kind of cover it up as I was working on these things. Anyway, so long story short, that's one. And then the other thing was like, I had to just kind of like do this. So I did it because I was kind of interested in doing that. And so when I used the drum, I cut the windows out, cut the windows out. Get in focus real quick. Cut the windows out, and then cut this part here. And it was pretty cool because now it's like I put a little scoring in it, and it's a little score marks right there, and a score marks right there. I'm going to be going with a felt pen and a felt marker and just do that. Then I'm going to seal the whole thing up, and then probably seal it so that it doesn't get like, contaminated with anything. You put it back to my spray gun at work. So that's when I go back to work. Anyway, long story short, that's one. I have my plethora of art pieces and stuff to do and to work on. But in the meantime, did I put his tail in the yellow thing? Of course I did. Today I'm going to put this guy back because he, for example, he can break. He can actually break. Even though there's masking tape inside and it keeps his structure, he can actually break. I'll show you one that's broken because so if you've been with me for a while, you understand that I've actually field tested this creature, right? And this one here is my could be a little bandit. Yeah, probably. So what happens is that this one here is, I call him Super Dodge. Super Dodge, he did the 1,100 mile crucible. What happened was he was as thin as possible, and I put him on the antenna of our car. And so what happened was that we drove all the way from Pensacola, Florida, back to New York. We went to visit my wife's mother in 2022, right? 2022, we did that. And so this one here, before he became Super Dodge, he was just like a really small stick figure of masking tape. So I used a very small piece of masking tape, tied him to the antenna, and he was on the thing. If you look on my Instagram, you'll see there's a category for Super Dodge, and it tells his whole story. Really cool. But so he's field tested, right? So he's been through a whole lot, right? He's been in the car like forever. I've had him in the car. He's like, it's kind of crispy. You see how it is? It's kind of crispy, the whole thing, right? But he's done 1,100 miles in terms of travel with us. And so We had another one, and her name is Apocalypse Rose, and she, when we got her, we had her outside for like more than 70 days. Yeah, Pentacle is pretty cool. But this here, my friend, this is something here does not endure the, this is the foam, right? This is the same foam clay. This is the first thing I ever made a foam clay, using the same colors, right, as the, I guess, the Gila Monster one I made before. And what happens, this is how it is. I just merely did that, and I broke the arm. See, the arm got broken right there. So this is good for, lightweight, very lightweight. It's almost like featherweight. But this one here is more durable. This is more durable than this foam clay. Just want you to know that. See how this is like see, the thing is, like, people make art and art is fragile. I don't like to make, yeah, cyborg arm. Oh, that'd be kind of cool. Give him a cyborg arm. That's kind of like an interesting thing. Hey, so you got me all in a creative mode right now. I'm gonna make a quick cyborg arm. Let's do that real quick. So what happens is that you have it where so you have it where the situation is like you can actually create this little arm right here quick. Got a good point. So the thing is, yeah, the foam is not as durable as the masking tape, as a masking tape thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and just make a quick cyborg arm. Let's give him some big old muscles and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and do this. So I'm gonna just kind of connect it right here because, if you think about having a robot arm and you don't have a robot back to support that robot arm, you got trouble. It's gonna like overwhelm you. You're gonna be eventually hunchback. You're gonna be like leaning over with your arm and your weight and stuff like that. So I'm gonna do is give it. You have to have like a robot backbone to just support your robot arm. So that's why, like, you have the thing with Winter Soldier, in the Marvel comics where he has like a silver arm. No, it's like no. You'd have to have a silver backbone to go along with that. What we do is kind of go ahead and just make this real quick, and then just make this arm for you. Yeah, so that's how it's been. So the so a lot of things been going on. So this is what's been really cool. So yeah, this is the kind of like thing I'm going to show you. And so see, this arm is more flexible than that arm. So this arm is flexible. You can do all these things with it. Let me get my tape real quick. Hold on. I'll try not to be on for too long, but I just wanted to show you guys some things. I'm going to start working on the paint for the next guy here. For the next guy, next color paint scheme, because I got to put the dots in the eyes and all that stuff too. I'm going to use the Dremel and everything as well. So it's one of those things where it's like, just time-wise, it's one of those things where you got to just kind of like have an opportunity to, just kind of make it like that. So I'm going to, there goes his arm. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Right. Okay, and I'm going to give him his hands. Let me show him his fingers real quick. Let's make some fingers for him. To make a big old, what should we give him, 4 fingers or 5 fingers? Huh? Give him 5 fingers, 4 fingers. What do you think? Let me know. The foam clay is like a weak rock. No, it's more like it's not like a weak rock. It's more like, it's like foam. It's like a sturdy foam, but it doesn't like, it needs something to hold it up. Also needs like a seal. It's almost like clay. Clay in and of itself is not that great. You have to have that wire on the inside, But what happens is, like, for the most part, that when you get that done, right, you have it where it's the wires inside, so it's kind of like not just clay alone anymore. So the masking tape, it's masking tape. What I like about it is that it's not just masking tape, but the more masking tape stuff you do with it, the more it becomes pretty cool. You have like more things you can actually add to it, right? So 4 fingers, 4 fingers. All right, give it 4 fingers. So here goes a 4-finger cyborg guy. He has 5 fingers on this hand, but he has 4 fingers on that one. Let's go ahead and just kind of reinforce his droid fingers. And we'll do this real quick. So he's like, come with me if you want to leave. Come with me if you want to not die. Okay, so that's pretty much there. You have this where, I'm just doing this until you have this hand, so you make his fingers like this. 3-finger droid. There's so many movies like that. There was what do you call it? District 9, where they had the alien robot thing. That was cool. I like the alien robot cyborg movies and stuff. It's pretty cool. So yeah, when I got this clay thing, I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can just do this thing, and see what it turns into. Because people always telling me maybe you should do a different kind of medium. We should use a different kind of medium or different kind of stuff. And I'm like, what? I don't know. I like what I like, and it's kind of minimalistic. I can actually be anywhere and make this, so I don't have to be like in a studio. I can be walking. I could be on the beach. Well, the beach is kind of hard to do it, but I can still do it on the beach. I can be on an airplane. I could be in a movie theater. I could be all over the place and be making this stuff. So here, yeah, this is he's like, yep, he's got his hand. He's like, hello, I got a robot hand. Let's kind of just reinforce his hand real quick right here. Yeah, so this is how I do it. This is how I make stuff, So I'm able to just make anything in masking tape. So here he is. He got his hand, got his new hand. Let me put his thumb a little bit this way. You got 4 fingers. She's like, well, why four? Let's see, a shell could be a sled. A shell could be a sled. I guess it could be, maybe. Be a shell, be a sled. Have that there. And he could be like, let's have this here. Like, there you have this here. He's like, oh, yeah, see, I can't move his legs. But on his, I can move it, so. That's right. That's right. So he can move because he's on. A shell could be a sled on the beach. Oh, that's what you meant. I thought you meant like here, because this is the Ammonite shell. And there's, okay, so this is Super Dodge. And I was going to show you so Apocalypse Rose, but here's the different things here and there. This here, this is still wet, so this is still wet. So I'm going to go right here. I'm going to put this right there real quick. And then I'm going to show you, I'm going to do this next painting for this part here, because this part's pretty much dry at this point. We'll do the top of Joppa's head. Top of Joppa's head. Okay, so there it goes right there. Right. Yeah, I don't have much space to work on. I usually kind of like just kind of conglomerate all my things, and you know, kind of take up space doing stuff. But it's like for the most part though, you just fill on the ground. But yeah, so thank you, Nugget Head. You inspired a robot arm on a missing arm thing. So now he's like a cyborg, a forum cyborg saying, "Hello, how are you doing?" Kind of a thing. So he'll be there. He'll be part of the archives of the Jedi Order. So there he goes right there. All right, so I have this penguin right here. My daughter loves penguins. She's absolutely in love with penguins. So she has a thing called penguining, and so this is the penguin that I have, and he glows in the dark. So yeah, 'cause I like making penguins too. I think they're cool. They're cool creatures. The only birds I like to make because the feathers are just unified. They're not like all over the place. So I appreciate that. Whereas I've seen people do art with birds, and that's like a week or 2 weeks or several weeks in terms of like, you know, how the payout and the play over of it all, you know, because what happens is like when you have like bird stuff, birds are just complex. Okay, I'm gonna move this other way so I don't damage this or accidentally paint upon it. Birds are complex in all kind of ways. Now I like birds. I think birds are cool. I wanted to have a bird as a pet. I wanted to have a parrot. Didn't pan out though, because you know parrots are big and noisy and they go wah, wah, wah. They make all kind of noise, and they wake up the neighbors and they fly very heavy. But for the most part though, yeah, nature, God makes weird creatures. There's God who made these creatures. You know, it's like I was talking to my kids the other day about this. I was talking to my son. I said, you know, what if when God gave Adam the ability to name the animals, he actually gave them their function. So it's like, but I mean, there's some animals we had never seen underwater. He'd never seen those, right? So what happens is like, you know, he'd never have seen the underwater creatures, but unless he came to the surface. But then maybe at that point he gave them, maybe there was only a few. So he's like, okay, well, the water was teeming with life according to scripture. So maybe they had to come and show themselves and be like, yo, Adam, what's my job? And they'd be like, okay, your job is you're an elephant and you're supposed to like go and clear the field and make space for everybody to walk. Like, okay. And kind of give all the animals different assignments, you know? And that'd be kind of cool. If you had to give all the fish assignments. Hey, fish, you're going to go look beautiful over there. And an alligator, you're going to do what alligators do, but we don't really sure. Because the animal would know what they do. I mean, because God puts them to know what they have to do. So I guess they would know. They would know an instinct what they would do. But maybe that's one of the whole animal thing. You had to go name them. That was one of his jobs. One of his jobs. So to name the animals. This here is metallic orange. Metallic orange is the colors for Joppa. Let me just kind of raise the camera up some. Right here at that. The camera is over here. So this is the metallic orange for Joppa. Right. So I'm gonna go ahead and separate that onto this palette board. I love palette board. If ever you want to give me something, give me more palette boards. If you can give me money too. If you like, that's something that people like to, you know, sometimes give super chats, and I like that. Super chats are great. Then I monetize. So if anytime you give us any money, the money that I use it to go right back to my art. And this is actually what I'm doing. I'm actually doing a project for a customer. So let's start painting this thing, shall we? Okay, so there we go. This is hands. Start painting. This is orange. All right. And you have to just make sure you get the colors right, because not to mess it up. All right, so you have that. This is here. I'm not even going to change the color on the brush, because what happens is that this is how it goes. But I have to make sure that I get it specifically, just like how the Joppa one looks like. So you have Joppa here, and you have Joppa back over there. I'm telling you, I love this. I love this art. I love doing this stuff. I mean, I could do this all day long, and I have done this all day long, and I could do it more, because the way it works, right, with this masking tape stuff, is that the more you do, the more you get better at it. And it's like, it's just the way it is. And it's just the way it is. It's like everything, you know, everything in life, the more you do, the better you get at stuff. So I just totally enjoy just doing this. And the reason why is because they say something about, there's an aspect that when you make stuff with your hands, you're you're doing a wonderful thing, you know. And I got sleep, so I'm full of energy now, so I'm actually able to do that. Yeah, there's no purpose. You don't have assignment. Blending colors is everywhere on Earth. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, blending colors is like that's the thing. So I'm just gonna let it go with that. I'm gonna let it just kind of go. Then I'm gonna flip it over. I'm gonna back the camera up so you guys can see tail it and stuff, and then give it all texture. But this is the most therapeutic part for me. I just love this. I just love the painting. I mean, painting on something I already painted before. I hate having to invent new paint schemes because that's pretty difficult to do. But when you have something. For example, if painting like Venom or something, I mean, that's not a trouble at all. I like painting Venom. Venom is cool because he's two colors, you know. But to have to make him, you have to make sure you get his body just right, you get his colors just right, and then that's something there. And and so that's something there. Let me see, make sure I got this right. Let me see here. And since I already have a Joppa that I've made, and the reason I call him Joppa because it's a Bible name, right? There's a place in the Bible called Joppa, you know, and I like some cool Bible names. There's I just think it's so cool. There's some places, like you have Jerusalem and cool names like that. But Joppa is such a cool name. It's like a place that's like Capernaum and Joppa and all those cool names. So yeah, so I named a fish like that because this is a fish monster, and a fish monster that comes from and they call them chupacabras. Sorry about that. The chupacabras. So this is like how big they would be in real life. This is like my person size. The equivalency. I mean, not so much the penguin, but definitely, if this was a normal sized person, this is how big the fish monster would be. Henceforth, the chupacabra has to be able to eat a whole goat. So, yes, I have a goat. 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 This is my goat. My goat. My goat. My goat. Normally, I wing it when I do different paint schemes. Oh, yeah, it's true. Oh, you see that? You see that right there? You saw that little crack happen? You see what happened? This is a result not of the masking tape. Masking tape is pretty much indestructible. But the seal on the outside can actually crack. It just cracked right there. Right? And so even though you have flexibility and movement, it has a part with cracks, but it's not damaged underneath. The masking tape is like layers of skin. The more masking tape you have, like down, yeah, chupacabras, like down in Mexico. That's like the goat suckers. That's what chupacabra means. But I didn't want to make them look like that typical creature. The ones that they have as a chupacabras look like a kind of rat dog weasel thing. I didn't like that. So I'm like, you know what? My chupacabras shall be fish monsters. That's what I decided. And so because I can do that, I do that. So I'm like, you know what? I will do that. And so I get a lot of reactions from people from Mexico who see this, and I say they're my chupacabras. They're like, ah, they start laughing, and because that's such a fun word, chupacabras. I mean, goat sucker. The chupa means to suck. All right, and cabra, well, it's a goat. So there's this with that. So I'm just kind of just putting this there, and then just trying to. I'm using this really thin brush, this fan brush. I mean, I should be using a more thicker brush, and getting closer and closer to the orange there. All right, so you have that. And see, when masking tape falls on the ground, you don't have to cry. You don't have to cry. I don't have to cry. Why? Because it doesn't break. See that? It's very durable. Okay, so what you can actually do more stuff to it. Like if I wanted, I'm thinking about doing more stuff, more like silicone and things like that, where I get a chance to really kind of meet is like the whole dinosaur dress. They're pretty intense, they're pretty intense creatures. I'm gonna take a picture of my other phone real quick because this is too cool. Okay, I just dropped the thing on the ground. I just dropped the canopy on the ground. And see, this has the foam, and that foam makes you think. Yep, the chupacabra could bite the goat's leg off. Yep, pretty much. So I'm gonna take a picture of these creatures because when you have pictures together, it's always fun because there was a lady. Her name is Cami Cosplay, right? And she said whenever you do anything, you take hundreds of pictures. Yes, he could. And pretty much the figure could ride a chupacabra. So I'm not gonna put him because he's just he's been. Thanks. I'll put him on Jaro. So here's Jaro. And he goes oof. He's like oof. Right there. Yes. So onwards. So and pretty much just back it up a little bit. So you're like onwards. Yep. There you have it. So yep. There you have. There's Super Dodge, which is kind of like my personification. I made a little me in there. So that's the thing. So whenever I have what's his name Argus holds him like a little doll, you know, so it's like his doll. So the other day I went to Comic Con and I had Super Dodge, and I had Argus, and I was holding Argus like a baby. So then I had a picture where and Argus is holding Super Dodge like a little baby, like a baby child. So I'm going to show you that real quick. But okay, in the meantime, though, here's the colors of that. Here's colors of Argus, of colors of the Joppa. So you have Joppa here and then Joppa there. You're probably wondering about the eyeballs. Well, the eyeballs, I'm going to go ahead and add that to it. You'll see. But first, I got to just finish the paint job. So do that real quick. Add a little water here and finish this paint job. I'm gonna see if I can finish the paint job before I call it a day. But this is 40 minutes. I usually do like an hour video. And our videos are why. The reason why I do that because, you know, there's many things that happen. Like when I go on live, I have to kind of like, you know, a family, they want to do something, they want to go somewhere. And so I have to kind of like, okay, let me just make it an hour so it's manageable. And then, so I mean, I can go on all night. One time I did a video that lasted like for like as long as possible. Oh my word, I missed the fin. You see his thumb? Oh, he has a fin here. He has a fin here, but he has no fin here. I got to bridge that gap. Okay, let me do that real quick. Bridge that gap. He's missing a fin, so that his thumb is, you know, is clearly out of the, so I gotta just bridge that real quick. Yeah, I teach classes, by the way, on my Patreon. If you go to my Patreon, you can, for $5 a month on my Patreon account, you can actually sign up and you can learn how to do all these cool art stuff. I do classes. I do also in-person classes. So if you want me to do in-person classes as well as online classes, I have those. So my online classes are on my Patreon. And it's for $5. You have access to all my art and stuff. So that's my Patreon account. And my Patreon is One Life Must Art. Patreon.com/OneLifeMustArt. So that's one there. Right, so you have that. I have to make sure I just kind of formalize his hand so his hand doesn't come apart. You see that because he had Joppa, his hands, right? See, Joppa is like a fish, a goldfish monster, right? It's like a goldfish with a goldfish color. See that? See his cool colors? But he also has hands, and his hands have fins. So he has a five fingers fish monster with fins. And I might have to do some repairs on him too, but he's for the most part, he's like he's you know, he's a cool looking goldfish monster. And I remember there was a guy who was an oceanographer. He saw this and he's like, "Oh my word, your colors are amazing." I said, "Thank you so much. I got the colors from the fish. You know, I watched the fish and I see how fish do the fish thing, and I liked it. And so here's a smaller version of this big monster version over here. So when this gets done, it'll be perfectly the same matching. You see that? So here's that. I gotta get my squid off the ground real quick and put this over here. Get my squid off the ground. So here's my squid. So the squid, I'm probably going to make it brown or just make it white. But for the most part, though, he's got Maj on him too. And there he is. The size of the squid is on the size of, right, because when he puts into there, he becomes the ammonite. And so pretty much it's pretty cool, ammonite and squid. You know, just who knew? You know, you could actually do it. So I just kind of took the opportunity. Took the opportunity, sir. And that's what happened. Opportunity, and I took it. That's like Top Gun. It was in my sights. I had the opportunity, and I took it. Do you have the first figure I ever made? The first figure I ever made. Oh my Lanta. In masking tape, or well, the first thing I've ever made, I think, was a dinosaur. Long time ago. But the first one I've made with masking tape, I have a couple of them. I think it's like this one. Oh goodness. Don't fall. Right, see this one. See this one? Like this is one of my first ones I made. Like this one here. This is like when I was doing the Dinosaur Candid story. The Dinosaur Candid story. I have this thing here where the dinosaurs, right? They have it's like, see how old it is? It's like pretty old, but this has masking tape inside, and this is air dry clay. So this is one of the sculptures that actually lasted the longest because it's like the way it is. But the first big one I made, this one here, I 3D printed this dinosaur here, so it's kind of like the same position of this. And this is one of my Dinosaur Candid stories. So this is like rides in the back of, almost like, you know, you ever see like a G Gundam? Anyway, well, they have a thing where almost as they walk, so walks the robot. So as she walks, so walks the dinosaur too. So she's kind of like a dinosaur ride a dinosaur rider riding a dinosaur kind of thing. But this here has masking tape in the center, and it's like and it's covered in air dry clay. And see. And this is 3D printed, like my rings. My rings are my fingers are 3D printed. These are 3D printed. This is 3D printed too, and some of the sculptures I've made. And so yeah, I've done a 3D printer type stuff, and that's been really cool. I've been doing that for like for a while now. I think I got my 3D printer in 2020. They're on the same time I started doing the masking tape stuff. So that's printed. So this is a like a Makurosaurus suit, and it's just really cool. But this is made of, it has air dry clay on it, and air dry clay. It's painted and sealed, so it's actually pretty much one of the oldest figures I have. I'll show you another one. This is my Instamorph days, back in my Instamorph. I've shown many people this before. So Instamorph is made of moldable plastic, and this is moldable plastic too. So it is kind of the evolution of it. I've been sculpting like forever. So this is like this is like a Ceratosaur, and this is a lady, her name is Jaina, and she's riding a Ceratosaur. Here's her cape, and so her cape sits on her shoulders like that too. So, and then this also stands. So this is one of those, this is made of Instamorph. It's moldable plastic that when you heat it up, right? When you heat it up, it's moldable. Like you can bend it and stuff when you heat it up, and then when it cools off, it actually turns into a rigid sculpture. But this if it falls on, it will break. The way the plastic is, it's there's nothing but plastic. This is 100% moldable plastic, and this is Instamorph. I painted it, and then I sealed it. Okay, pretty much. I'm gonna have to wrap this up. I just got a call from my wife, so I'm gonna end this shortly. But this is the Instamorph, and I didn't get a chance to finish painting because I'm gonna see if that was this is here and there. So I'm gonna go ahead and oh goodness. So yeah. So I'm at 46 minutes. I'm gonna have to take a look see at this here. I'm gonna put this back where it is. I made a really big version of Jaina, but this is my most manageable piece that I can actually take around with me that doesn't like break or oh goodness, falls right into the sink. All right, cool. So there's, like I said, so this one here, it doesn't break, but here it is. There, I'm gonna put her there so she can actually stand up. She rides the dinosaur, and then so pretty much she has a bag, right? Bag all made of Instamorph. But masking tape is what I normally use most of. So every so often when this gets like broken or messed up, I have to kind of fix this. But this is a cool structure here. It's a pretty cool structure, pretty cool design of part of a story. This I actually have a 3D story of about, and yeah. So let me just go ahead and see. Yeah, here's another Jaina I made. I'm gonna have this one over here. Down. It's another Jaina. Kind of made a structure like my wife. So this is like a Jaina, a little older version of her with green eyes. My wife doesn't have green eyes. My wife has blue eyes. But for the most part, though, this is one, so she can also stand up. Yeah, and she's not gonna want to stand up, of course. But it's like pretty much, I think, because it's like not level. This thing is not level. Okay, so that's pretty much all my art pieces there. I gotta give my wife a call back, so I'm gonna have to just end this video. I'm glad that you guys were able to be with me for so long. Thank you so much. I do 3D printing and all these different things too. I have all these little versions of stuff, the stuff that I've made. Some really complex stuff, This is like a complex ship with one of the dinosaur candidate stories, Oh, thank you so much, Nugget. I really appreciate you. I thank you so much for being here. I'm going to show you one more thing. This is like a little me I made with 3D printing. This is a little me, and I call it little me, right? And so I made one here with a 3D printer, and I was like, okay, when you compare him to Super Dodge, he doesn't move at all. He has no movement, but this is the one that I have here that moves. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So yeah, so unfortunately I have to go now, and I'm going to see if I can come back to you a little later. I may not come back to you today because today I'm just kind of working on some really intense art stuff, and I have to like just kind of get back in the game. So I just want to just kind of wave goodbye and let you guys see. So this is what I'm working on right now. This is just Joppa. This is Joppa 2.0. I'm almost finished with the painting of him. There's Joppa, the original Joppa right there. This is Joppa, it's a little slower. Sorry about that. Joppa 2.0. The first Joppa. And you got different creatures here, and then you have the new Joppa that I'm working on. So I'm not finished with the painting. But when he gets done, he's gonna look just like him. Right, these are some little dinosaurs that my coworkers gave me because they know I like dinosaurs, and it's kind of cool to have dinosaur stuff. So I just want to say thank you so much. Let me put it back to me so you can see me real quick. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I really appreciate you guys. God bless you all, and I hope to see you guys again soon. So pretty much just thanks for following, thanks for for being a person supporting my art, and for looking at all the cool stuff that I do. So I really appreciate that. Again, thank you for watching, and follow me on Instagram, One Life Must Art. Also, Facebook is One Life Must Art. My Patreon is One Life Must Art. So One Life Must Art. Follow me there. You can find out. Just type in One Life Must Art. You'll find something about me. So thank you so much. God bless you, and have a good night. Okay. All right. Bye. Peace. Peace.